Should you buy your next home before selling your current home, or should you sell your current home first and then go buy the next one? This is one of the trickiest situations in real estate because there really isn't one right answer for everybody. I've helped clients successfully navigate both strategies here in Calgary, but the real question is not just which one is better. The better questions are, what can you afford to do? What is your risk tolerance? And what market are you moving in and out of? Because when this is done incorrectly, it can get very stressful very quickly. You could end up paying thousands of dollars in short-term rental costs, carrying 2 mortgages longer than expected, or feeling rushed into buying a home that is not actually the right fit. But when it is done correctly, you can transition into your next home with a clear plan and avoid making one of the biggest financial decisions of your life under unnecessary pressure. I'm Josh White, a husband, dad, and Calgary Realtor with Dexter & Co. Luxury Real Estate at eXp Realty. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through how to decide whether it makes more sense to buy first or sell first in Calgary. Before you decide which direction to go, the first phase of the process looks the same. You need to understand 3 things: what your current home is worth, what you can actually afford, and what the market looks like for the home you want to buy. Let's start with your current home. You need to know the true market value of the home you are selling. Not the property assessment from last year, not just an online estimate, and not what your neighbor thinks your home is worth because someone down the street sold 6 months ago. You need to know what your home is realistically worth in today's market. That number matters because it tells you how much equity you may have available, how much you can put towards the next purchase, and how much flexibility you actually have. This is where people can get themselves into trouble. They assume their home is worth a certain amount, build their entire plan around that number, and then find out the market does not agree. So the first step is getting a realistic valuation based on your home, your competition, recent comparable sales, and what buyers are actually doing in your segment of the Calgary market. The second thing you need to understand is your financing. Once you have a realistic idea of what your current home is worth, take that information to a mortgage broker and figure out what you can actually afford. And I would not settle for a casual number over the phone. You want a proper pre-approval that looks at your full financial picture, including whether you can qualify before your current home sells. That difference matters a lot when you're trying to buy and sell at the same time. The third thing you need to understand is the market you are buying into. This is not just about whether the Calgary market is good or bad. It is about the market you are selling in and the market you are buying into, and those can be very different. So instead of asking, is the market good or bad, the better question is, what is the market like for the home I'm selling, and what is the market like for the home that I want to buy? Once you understand that, you can start to see what kind of move you are actually making. Ideally, you would buy your next home, list your current home, sell it, and arrange the possession dates so that you have a little bit of overlap. Maybe you take possession of the new home 1 or 2 weeks before the buyer takes possession of your current home, which gives you time to move, clean, organize, and avoid the chaos of trying to move everything in one day. But that is the perfect world scenario, and real estate does not always work perfectly. So this is where we get to the actual decision. Should you buy first or sell first? There are 2 questions I would ask. Do you have access to the down payment for your next home without selling your current home? And can you afford to carry both homes temporarily if your current home does not sell as quickly as expected? If the answer is no to either of those questions, then you're probably looking at a sell-first strategy. But that does not mean you just throw your home on the market and hope everything works out. Selling first still requires a plan. You need to know what you would buy, where you would buy, what your budget is, and whether there are enough homes available that you would actually be comfortable purchasing. Because once your home is sold, the clock starts to matter. You may have 30, 60, or 90 days before possession, depending on what is negotiated. During that time, you still need to find your next home, write an offer, satisfy conditions, line up financing, and coordinate possession. So if you are selling first, the biggest risk is usually not financial. The biggest risk is housing uncertainty. You may have your home sold, but still need somewhere to go. That could mean temporary housing, a short-term rental, moving twice, or feeling pressure to buy something simply because the clock is ticking. On the other hand, if you do have access to the down payment without selling, and you can afford to carry both homes temporarily, buying first may be an option. This is often the cleaner lifestyle move. You get to find the right home first, without the pressure of already having your current home sold. You can negotiate the possession date, plan the move, and then list your home once you know where you are going. but buying first carries more financial risk. The goal is usually to buy with a possession date far enough out that you have time to list your current home and get it sold before you take possession. But the risk is that your current home does not sell as quickly as expected. Maybe the market shifts, maybe you price too high, maybe a competing listing comes up down the street, maybe buyers are slower than expected, and now you're either carrying two mortgages or preparing for that possibility. So buying first can be less stressful from a living arrangement standpoint, but more stressful financially. Selling first can be safer financially, but more stressful from a housing standpoint. That is really the trade-off. There is no perfect answer. There is only the right strategy for your home, your finances, your timeline, and the market you are moving in. So here is the simple way to think about it. If you need the equity from your current home for the next down payment, or you cannot comfortably carry both homes, selling first is probably the safer strategy. But before you list, make sure there are homes available that you would actually buy. If you do not need the sell first to access your down payment, and you can financially handle the risk of carrying both homes temporarily, buying first may give you more control and a smoother transition. But you need to understand what happens if your current home takes longer to sell. No matter which direction you go, the process should start the same way. Get a realistic valuation on your current home. Understand your expected equity. Get properly pre-approved, study the market you are buying into, and then build the strategy from there. Because buying and selling at the same time is not something you want to figure out as you go. It is something you want to plan before you make a move. So if you live in Calgary or the surrounding areas and you are thinking about buying and selling at the same time, I would be happy to help. We can look at your current home, what it might be worth, what you want to buy next, and build a strategy that actually makes sense. My contact information is in the description below, and if you want more practical real estate advice around buying, selling, and moving within Calgary, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.